What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another dope edition of Dope Chats with yours truly, Stretch, hanging out with you on this good Tuesday. And thank you for taking time out to join in, listen, and watch wherever you are. Of course, you know Dope Chats with Stretch is every other Tuesday live on Facebook and on YouTube, man. And we're having a good time tonight because I'm super excited to have this young lady come to the stage and just tell her story about how she, basically became one of the dopest females in this thing we call the cigar world. For those of you who don't know, of course, you already know that I love my cigars, I love my wine and things of that nature. And this young lady actually is someone I have a deep, well, not deep, but we have a connection with because we went to high school together way back in the day. She much younger than me though, so it's all good though. But anyway, coming to the stage right now, I want y'all to all show your love and please welcome Miss Zee Kiley to the stage right now. Zee Kiley to the stage. Yeah.
How y'all doing this evening?
What's up with you? How you feel?
I'm good. I can't complain. You know, this weather does what it do.
This weather does what it do. That's what's up. Hey man, I'm really excited to have you on tonight because I know you have a remarkable story. And I know a lot of people out there, especially a lot of the ladies out there, will be able to resonate with what you have to say. So with that being said, let's get into it. You are the owner of Zephoria Cigars, formerly Prime Draw Cigars. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what prompted you to get into this cigar industry.
So I came into it with my old partner. He was in cigars. He had a dream of having his own lounge. And so, I supported it. We went into it together, teamed up. And then about a year in, he went on to other things and I kept it going. So that's really how I got into cigars and I kind of fell in love with it. I love the people. So that's a thing in and of itself.
Right. So, and for those who are listening to this, instead of watching it, we are going to enjoy a cigar. So, with that being said, what are you smoking tonight?
I am smoking Warped Cigars, Sky Moon.
Okay.
All right. It's a collaboration of Warp's Sky Flower and Moon Garden. So it's dope. Medio Tempo, Criollo 99.
Yeah.
We're talking about phenomenal smoke. Nice bite on it, but pepper on the retro, a little bit of floral on the retro. Really, really nice smoke.
All right. And tonight I am smoking the La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut El Jefe, because I'm pairing it with a nice bottle of this Carnivore, a bourbon barrel aged Cabernet. So you get a little bit of the notes and from the wine, which is kind of like a pistachio pecan kind of taste, which kind of marries well with this Connecticut here. So that's what's up. So let's talk about it. Once you got into this field, what were some of the, I guess, eye-opening things that you kind of found out about the cigar industry, especially for being a female in the cigar industry?
Well, one of the big things I learned is your word is not as prevalent as a man's. I hate to say that, but even standing next to my partner, I could be the one knowledgeable about the cigars. And if I make a recommendation, they'll be like, oh, okay, I hear you. But then he can make the same recommendation and they'll be like, man, I'm going to get that. And I'd be like, well, cigars has no gender. It's knowledge. It's all about building your knowledge. It's doing the research. It's smoking the cigars. Is learning everything from the ground up. I mean, literally the ground that is, planted in the soil up. So, I did learn there are a lot of females who own lounges now. There are a lot of women who are more adept and more knowledgeable than some men. So, I learned that very quickly. And then I learned how the culture is, you have to learn people are people. So you kind of maneuver your way through the ever-changing thing that is the people and the culture.
So when you first kind of, got into the flow of things, and when you had the previous location with your former partner, how knowledgeable were you of cigars at that present time, or was this something that you kind of just threw yourself into once you realized that this was a field that you wanted to get into?
I kind of threw myself into it. A lot of people don't know. Prime opened in 2020. I just started smoking in 2019. So I kind of just, right? So I just kind of jumped feet first. Well, I'm a cliff jumper. So I just kind of jumped off the cliff. And I always felt like if I'm going to be involved in something, I have to know what I'm involving myself in. So I took a different route to learning, and my route was through blenders. So I started ordering cigars and purchasing cigars by the blender, and smoking across different brands based on the blenders. And I kind of just dug deep because I figure if you got a lounge, you gotta know what you're talking about. You can't just go to the humidor and say you should smoke this because this is good. Well, what is good? What is good?
Yeah.
What's the wrapper binder filler? What are the notes? What does it pair well with? You have to kind of know all of those things. And I hate to say a lot of people don't know those things, but they're open to learning.
You said something that really resonated with me, because when you think about it, it seems as the cigar world, especially with a lot of some folks, this became such a novice idea for folks to start smoking, right? Especially when we were like pre-pandemic, and especially post-pandemic, because people had a lot of time on their hands. They picked up a new thing, whether it be cigar smoking or pipe tobacco or whatever the case may be. So let's talk about cigar 101, because you still have a lot of folks out there who are maybe listening to this or watching this podcast right now and don't understand or understand the dynamics of what makes a cigar. So you talked about binder, wrapper, and filler. Can you break it down for those out there who may not understand what you just said?
So the three components of the cigar: wrapper, binder, filler. There's filler, and the filler is what is in essence in the center of your cigar is what you see the most of. The larger the cigar, of course, the more filler. Once they bunch all of the filler together, you're getting your binder. You're getting your binder included in that. Your wrapper is what you see on the outermost. Larger gauge of cigar equals less ability to taste your wrapper. Right? So a lot of people, like, you have a large gauge cigar. A lot of men like the bigger gauge because they like how it sits in their hand. But the truth is, it's like breadcrumbs in your crab cake. I tell people, the more breadcrumbs you put in there, that's how your grandmama used to make it spread, but it didn't taste. It didn't taste as good as it was if you just had the crab cake with no breadcrumbs. The smaller gauges, we're talking about Robustos, Lanceros, Coronas, all of these smaller gauge cigars, which the gauge is the size around the thickness of it. The smaller gauge cigars, you're going to really taste your wrapper. You're going to really taste all three components, and you're going to understand the cigar differently if you smoke it in a smaller gauge.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Once again, you're checking in Dope Chats with Stretch. My guest tonight is Zee Kiley, owner, entrepreneur of Zephoria, a brand new lounge that is coming to Baltimore very, very soon, formerly of Prime Draw Cigars. And let's talk about, you just hit on something that really kind of, again, resonated with me, because I am a Lancero fan. I love Lanceros. And you definitely can get that bite and get that taste of the cigar from a Lancero, because you have people who like Lanceros, like petites and things of that nature. But is there, or if you were to, again, someone comes up into your shop and they're like, hey, I've never smoked a cigar ever in my life, what would be the one stick that you would recommend to someone new? So that they can kind of just get that feeling.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what it's not going to be, and it's not going to be infused or flavored. Most people push people toward infused and flavored, and it really should not be the cigar you start somebody off with, because what you're doing in essence is making them want a flavor or that on that sweetness on their palate. And it can take them a while to wean off of that. So I'm going to start you, and I don't necessarily even start people with Connecticut's, but I'm going to start them in mild to medium. I can't necessarily say a cigar specifically because it really kind of depends. I'm going to ask them what they ate tonight. You know, did they have a steak or did they have fish? That makes a difference on how, you know, what cigar, the notes, you know, the different types of tobacco. So it really makes a difference. I'm going to ask them what they're drinking. Are they drinking a wine? Are they drinking a whiskey? All of that stuff, because it's all going to blend on your palate. If you just ate a steak is heavy. I could give you a heavier cigar, but I also want to give you something hearty, like a Red Meat Lovers, you know, like Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, or maybe a La Gloria Cubana Esteli. You know, I can even take you to a LFD Capitulo 2, which is my favorite over the Chapter 1. But, you know, it's just so many different directions you can go. But the truth is, as a shop owner, is best when you learn your customer's palate. When you start to watch what they're smoking and you ask them, you genuinely want to know, how did you like this cigar? How did you like this one? And I start to learn what different tobaccos sit better on their palate and how to kind of move them and recommend for them.
And, you know, that's something I can respect. And I love when I came into your shop is because not only are you knowledgeable of cigars and, you know, and tobacco in general, but I think, you know, you passed that and bestowed that information down onto your staff, because when I walked in and I just was like, yo, you know, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. And folks, oh yeah. And so sometimes, even though I know, you know, majority of what I like and things of that nature, I always like to sit back, and not to say like I play dumb, but I just like to sit back and I want to hear what they have, what other, you know, folks inside the humidor have to say, in order to, you know, I might pick up on a new gem or something like that, or just to even, not to say I'm like testing to see their knowledge, but I just want to see what they say.
I do.
See how, well, you know, see what they, you know,
I'm like, what do you say? I don't even tell them I'm a shop owner. I'll be like, oh, so what do you recommend? Because I want to, I want to see people's approach, because sometimes you can learn from everybody. It's funny you say my people. One of my staff is in here, the pipe stress Asia. She's my pipe aficionado, so she's the one for that. But you know, you just learn so much, and the truth is, you can't know everything. You know how many cigars on the market? It's out of control. You know how many new cigars come out? I mean, different types of, you know, tobacco that are out there. You know, you will never know everything. But the one thing you can't do is lie. And that, I just feel that for myself. And even my staff are like that too. We're not gonna lie to you. We don't know. We just gonna say, you know what? That one might have just came in. Let me look it up for you. Or if somebody wants to buy a cigar just because they're like, I saw you posted this, and I know it's not gonna work for them in their palate, I'm gonna tell them, no, that's not for you.
Right.
That's not for you. You're not. And they say, why? I say, you're not gonna like it. And I don't want you to buy a cigar that I know is not gonna work for you. So.
Absolutely. Well, that speaks for your integrity, that, you know, you're not looking to just capture a sale. You want to make sure that the person has an experience of what you're trying to sell them, because therefore, once they have that, they know that leaves that, you know, that memory in their mind, so they can be like, yo, she looked out for me, so I know next time she's definitely gonna put me on something different, or put me back on to something that you know, that I smoke. So, you know, kudos to you for that. I want to talk to you about, you know, the process of becoming a tobacconist. Like, what entails all of that? How, you know, how much time and effort goes into that process to be able to, you know, have that moniker?
Well, it's just studying. You know, there's really the one that's known for certifications, the greatest across, you know, the world, is Tobacconist University. So everybody knows that. The reality is anybody can learn the information. You know, you can order the Tobacconist manual on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon and you can learn. So it's just a matter of whether you want to retain the information, because a lot of it is stuff that you learn if you're really into cigars that you just learn along the way, but they take you all the way back to the soil, you
Right.
know, understanding what is what on the plant, what type of leaf, you know, and it doesn't get overly deep like you would if you were out there, you know, on in the fields, but it gives you the necessary information for you to appreciate the process of somebody rolling a cigar from the soil up, creating a cigar, because it's not an easy process. And you come across duds, and I went to PCA this year, and that's one thing they said. I think it was Nick Melillo. He said, you know, you got to give people a break sometime, because the truth is we make billions of cigars. I mean, are you expecting every one of them to be, you know, on the money? It's the natural evolution. This is a plant.
Right.
You know, the process is rolling. You know, the cigars, they sit, they age, you know, it's nothing is going to be perfection, you know, but you got to give them a buy. If you get one that has a mouse hole, or, you know, you have tobacco beetles, it's going to be that. But that all comes with the whole experience of cigars, learning those things. You'll never know what a mouse hole is until you have a cigar that has one.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, you just opened up the pathway right there. What's a mouse hole?
So sometimes you get a cigar, and when you light it, you'll be smoking it, and you'll see that there's a hole straight down the center, right? Sometimes that just has to do with the way the cigar is rolled.
Right.
It's nothing you're going to do about that. A lot of people smoke through it. Not I said the cat. It depends on how bad it is. Because some people be like, this cigar too good, I'm gonna try to make it work. But I mean, that comes with the territory. Same way with tobacco beetles. It comes with the territory. So
another dope thing that I love about you, my friend, is that, you know, although you have your, you know, you have your cigar shop, but you specifically focus on boutique cigars.
Yes.
Why did you decide to go that route? And what are some of your favorite boutique cigars?
Oh, you opening up Pandora's box. So decided boutiques because there are a lot of cigar lounges in the DMV. I mean, let's be real. I kind of feel like we have so many choices, so many more choices than any other state that I've been to, where you can go and get whatever vibe that you want, you know, within a 20 to 30 minute drive, right? So being that there are so many cigar lounges already, you look at what they're selling, and the greater majority of them are traditional. So just from a business perspective, you know, you ask yourself, how will I be able to prosper and grow in a business where I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing? So that's where I liked the boutiques already. I was already smoking Espinosa. I was smoking a lot of boutique brands. And so I was like, well, why don't I just do boutiques and be an ultra boutique shop and be the shop that people come to when you want something different? Yeah. You know, people think boutique means cheap or lower level, and it doesn't. Only thing that differentiates that boutique brand from that more traditional brand like a My Father and all of them is the number of cigars they produce. It's smaller runs, the QA, and a lot of times the QA process is better because it's not as many cigars. So I love the boutique brands, and you know, I'm on Warped right now.
Okay.
I'm on Warped. Luxury boutique, ultra boutique brand. I love El Septimo. That's a phenomenal brand. I love Espinosa. I mean, I love Dapper Cigars. De La Madrina is phenomenal, or the Borracho, phenomenal cigar. I love Traficante Cigars. They did a cigar for Biggie Smalls that is so traditional. It's phenomenal. There are just a lot of cigar brands out there, and I research the boutiques intentionally so that I can bring you something different.
And you know, when I was up at the spot, you already know, like I'm a Caldwell fan. I love all Caldwell.
Oh my gosh, everything Caldwell.
I love everything Caldwell. But you also brought up a good point. You also brought up another brand that's really dope. Is the El Septimos. So for people who, if you're trying to have a comparison, more or less, it's like they're like the Davidoff of like, you know what I'm saying? So as like a Davidoff would be like a Rolls Royce, the El Septimo is like, you know, whatever's better than a Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? Because to me, I you know, people may like, oh, it's pricey. It might be pricey, but it's a very, very good smoke. And sometimes,
oh my goodness, yes,
yeah. And speaking of which, let's you know, let's kill this whole you know, a cigar is only good if it's expensive. That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
That's so bad. I've smoked some dope $8 cigars.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it really has nothing to do with the price. I mean, like anything, like in clothing, cigars have label chasers there, and it's not anything wrong with that because people like what they like. And I tell people, smoke what you like to smoke. If it's that $5 a house stick from the lounge round the way and it's good on your palate, then you do that. Everybody's palate is different, so you do what you love. You smoke what you love. But yeah, I've smoked some $80 cigars that I felt couldn't touch some $12 cigars. Hey, I could go get a New World Cameroon by AJ Fernandez, and that's going to come through every time. You know, that the New World Oscuro going to come through every time. Oh, $12 cigars, $12, $13.
Yeah,
they're not high, but they the profile is complex. AJ Fernandez, you know, he got the Midas touch. So everything he touched, you know, really is golden. So, I mean, the price has nothing to do with it.
Yes, indeed. You're so correct. You're so correct. You're listening to Dope Chats with Stretch. Yours truly, that's me, your 6'6" phenomenon, along with my guest tonight, Zee Kiley of Zephoria, formerly known as Prime Draw Cigars. So let's talk about Zephoria. Yes. What prompted you to, well, first and foremost, you know, open up a new spot, change the name and things of that nature? And what can folks expect when they come to your lounge?
So Prime was the roundaway lounge. For people who have been and people who haven't, Prime was in Park Heights in Baltimore, Maryland. And if you know Park Heights, then you understand it's in a hilltop section, but it's still Park Heights.
Right.
Very urban area, known for a lot of things that people don't consider to be positive. Right. But our view was, you know, we can have nice things. You know, cigar lounges aren't exclusive to, you know, upper echelon or, you know, the
suburbs.
The upper class. Yeah, the upper class or the suburbs. It's not exclusive to that. So we put it there, and Prime kind of took off. And it was love. And it was really very much a round-the-way lounge, everybody's family, very much like Cheers, and quickly outgrew that location quickly. I mean, to the point where we looking at 150, 200 people there on a Saturday. Wow. It was crazy. And we had 1,000 square feet, but had the courtyard out front. So it would be packed. And so it was always the intention to grow it. So that's where moving came in, went from 1,000 square feet to 2,200 square feet, and then 1,700 outdoor. We'll end up having a really nice patioed outdoor. And it went from Prime Draw Cigars to Zephoria, because Zephoria is not the roundaway lounge. It is a luxury cigar lounge with memberships, which Prime didn't have. And it has a dress code, which I know some people aren't fond of, but really all of our lounges, you can kind of come as you are. So where is the lounge that is an upscale lounge? So just trying to give you something different, have you come in, you know, be able to put on your clothes, do live jazz, do, you know, live band, have some things that are a little more upscale, and try to kind of turn you on to something new.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, Z, is like that's dope in a sense, because that is what's needed since, you know, a certain spot, you know, in DC shut down, that kind of had that same flow and vibe that you can bring back to the Baltimore area. And also it's a good thing too, because you got to think about it. Whenever you go, if you're like in Vegas or if you go to, you know, Atlanta and things of that nature, there are plenty of cigar lounges that have that same sort of, dress code, because you want them to have people feel like wherever they're going, they're going to be comfortable. They're going to have a good time. They're going to experience. They're going for the experience. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing better than going to a cigar lounge where you feel comfortable and you're able to sit down, chop it up with your crew, people watch, and just have a good time. And so I think, kudos to you for bringing that and opening that up, because I think it's going to be very beneficial for the community. And I know, off the jump, it's going to be a success for you. So kudos to you on that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
No doubt. We got Sheila Tibbs on Facebook. She just wanted to say what's up to you.
Yes, she is a prime regular. Regular.
Shout out to Sheila Tibbs, no doubt. So let's talk about something I think that really kind of grinds my gears. And when it comes to grinding my gears, I'm talking about just like cigar etiquette, right? You got a lot of people who will come into a shop and, don't know how to cut a cigar properly, don't know how to light a cigar properly, and they just destroy a cigar, right? And, that's, and as folks who don't know, in the cigar culture, when you do stuff like that's disrespecting the wrapper, you know what I'm saying? The roller, because the hours that it takes to roll a cigar is artwork. I mean, it's really a form of art. And for, you have to appreciate the cigar. It's not a cigarette. You don't be puff, 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 and then throw it on the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's just
right.
Disrespectful.
Seen that done too.
Yeah, it's disrespectful. So let's talk about, cigar etiquette. Let's talk about the different cuts for a cigar, and talk about how to properly light a cigar.
So there are different cuts. There is straight cut, which people know is the guillotine. Mm-hmm. First, let me say, all of the cuts give you a different draw. So you don't just cut it because you think it's pretty and the V cut looks nice, which is another cut, the V cut. And then you have your punch. And some people, and then of course you have some of those novelty cuts like select draw that add to the draw. I think it's called the Shuriken. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it. You have that one as well that slices into the cigar that a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
But each cut gives you a different draw. A straight cut or guillotine is going to give you the most out of your cigar. You're going to get the most smoke. It is a wide open draw, right? So when you cut in a V cut, it's a mid draw. So I have a very, my draw is not strong. So I smoke a straight cut, but I smoke a straight cut also because my personal opinion is that's the only cut you really should be smoking anyway. Without people even knowing it, when you punch your cigar, a lot of people punch larger gauge cigars. And that's because if you straight cut it, you get a lot off of it because it's a larger gauge, the bigger the cigar. But when you punch your cigar, you have to think about the basics of fire. If you punch your cigar and you're drawing on your cigar, then the majority of the air is coming straight down the middle of the cigar. So sometimes it has a tendency for the cigar to burn faster down the middle.
Right.
And it burns uneven than it does on the outside. So you'll notice that as you're holding your cigar is getting hot. You can feel the heat in the cigar. Some people call it smoking your cigar hot. So a cigar is round, so you give it a straight cut. The V cut wasn't even created by like a cigar aficionado. It was, and somebody imparted this wisdom on me. It actually was created by a farmer down south. So it's a novelty cut, but it just really is a matter of choice. Gauge of cigar plays into it. The smaller gauges. I've seen people trying to punch Lanceros. I'm like, well, if you're going to punch it, you might as well straight cut it because the size of the punch is the size of the cigar.
The size of the cigar.
Yeah, so why would you do that? Just straight cut it. Some people slant cut, like there are variations. And when you slant it, all it does is allow for the smoke to go straight to your palate. There are little nuances. If I'm smoking a chisel, you can press a chisel to open it or you can cut it. I don't. I don't press it to open. I actually punch it. I punch it on the flats of each side so that the smoke will go straight to my palate.
So you just educated me on that, because normally I press it. I'll get ahead and press it,
Yeah, because it'll close up. If you wet up your cigar a lot, it'll start to close up. So I punch it. But I mean, it's just a matter of choice.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's about your drawer. I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. I want all the flavor, especially when people are smoking a cigar for the first time. I tell them straight cut, guillotine, because you never know what the cigar has to give until you smoke it in the purest way. And that's with the straight cut. And then you'll know if it's a cigar that's naturally rolled tight, because if you V-cut it and it's a cigar that's rolled really tight, then you're like, well, I'm not getting smoke. Well, you shouldn't have V-cut it. You should have straight cut it. So straight cut the first time, smoke it, and then see what it has to give, and then tamper it down based on the cut after that,
As you can see, I got a V cut because I'm a man and I like V.
And you know what? And a lot of men pick the V cut for that.
Exactly.
That's
funny, man.
I can't do a V cut. When I smoke a V cut, my cigar keeps going out because I don't have a strong draw.
Yeah.
So I've learned what works best for me. Just like I learned my favorite Vitolas are Robusto and below. Robusto, Lancero, Petite Lancero, Panatella, Corona, anything in a small gauge is what I like. I feel like I'm wasting a cigar if I smoke a Toro, because by the time I get to the band, I want something new.
Right.
So
well, you know what? Let's talk about flavor and notes, right? Because for someone who is maybe new or a novice or even experienced or aficionado, talk about how how a person should be able to pick up on certain notes. I know everyone's palate is different. If you buy a stick, say for instance, you get a like a Perdomo Champagne 20th anniversary series, right? It's a very medium smoke, but it has a lot of notes that hit up in there. Talk to the audience about how you should be able to, or what you should do to pick up on those notes that are present in a cigar, especially if you're drinking a spirit.
Well, I'll tell you what, it really is a matter of honing your palate. When you first start smoking and people tell you, I taste vanilla custard and cocoa bean and all of that stuff, you don't taste none of that mess when you first start. When you first start out, you don't taste any of that. When you first start out, you like, this tastes like tobacco. Most people say that. So you really do have to train and hone your palate. And you can hone your palate using chocolate. There are various ways. Chocolate is chocolate cleanses your palate. But if you take a piece of chocolate and you put it in your mouth, don't chew it. Let it naturally press it against the roof of your mouth and let it naturally melt, and then taste for the flavors. It's a way that you can hone your palate in. And you have to activate all your senses when you're smoking a cigar. So you hear people say about retrohaling. And if you're not retrohaling at least once when you first start smoking your cigar, then you're not really tasting the notes, because that sense of smell makes all of the difference in smoking a cigar. So you can draw on a cigar, close your mouth, allow the smoke to plume in your mouth. Slowly, some people say press your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Activate, and then you slowly blow the smoke out. And then when you're finished, chew. I call it chew on it. So because when you do that, it activates the taste buds in your mouth. So then you'll be able to taste things. But you really do need to retrohale after you light your cigar, pending how you light it. If you light it with a torch, purge it, which is blow through it for a few seconds. Purge that butane. Is just like lighting your grill. You're going to, until you let that, lighter fluid burn off, you're going to taste it. And you really sometimes don't pay attention to it, but it will change the flavor of your cigar. So purge it, take a few draws, let it plume, press your tongue against the roof of your mouth, against your palate, blow that smoke out slow, and then retrohale it. retrohale it, and then when you draw in your cigar after you retrohale, you'll start to pick up on some of those notes. But it really is just a process. It really is. As you start smoking cigars more and more, and you hone your palate, you'll be able to pick up on the notes.
So for those who are listening or watching right now and don't know what retrohaling is, can you talk about that?
So retrohaling is blowing the smoke out of your nose, right? So you can take a nice draw, and a lot of people say, I don't know how to do it. It's just a matter of relaxing. So you take a draw and you close your mouth, you relax your tongue so it's not closing your airway, and you don't take the smoke down. You can even just blow out your nose from your diaphragm, and that smoke will come out. You don't have to blow all the smoke out of your nose. Let some of it out your nose, blow the rest out of your mouth. Now, a lot of people say they don't want to do it because their nose burn. I told them your nose is burning a lot of times because it's pepper on the cigar, right? So you get a lot of burn. Yeah, I know what you smoking. I have cayenne, and there are different types of pepper. There's white pepper, there's black pepper, there's cayenne, there's chili. The aggressiveness of the pepper when you're smoking the cigar, when you retrohale, will kind of tell you what pepper it is. Some of the lighter peppers, like white pepper, is more floral. Cayennes and chilies have a slow simmer on the back of the palate. Black pepper is usually aggressive on the front of the palate. So it's a lot to learn. But if you love cigars, then you learn. And sometimes you love cigars and you don't want to learn. You just want to enjoy the daggone cigar. So it's just a matter of who you are, how far along you are in the culture, and what you like. You know, no one person can tell another person how they're supposed to smoke, really. Right. I mean, outside of the general etiquette rules.
That's it. Cigars are supposed to be enjoyed. They're therapeutic. Yes. And that's what I love, about the cigar culture and the cigar world, especially, amongst us as Black folk, because, we've kind of just jumped into the cigar world and pretty, for the most part, taken over because we appreciate it. It's another form for us to get together and commiserate with one another, and have fun with your crew and sit down and, have a drink or, have a laugh or whatever the case may be. That's what I love about, cigars, because it's not, it's not a segregated sort of world where it's like it's a white thing, it's a Black thing. It's a people thing. But I love it for us as a people because we get to, it shows camaraderie amongst us as we get together and have a good time when it comes to smoking cigars. And, and I say this a lot too, as that I noticed too, when you go to the cigar lounges, if you are a single man, the ladies, they come to the cigar lounge. They come to the cigar lounges because they know that's where the men are going to be, and they want to be around the men. And so with your clientele, you got a lot of women that come up into your spots too.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of women, and I'm gonna tell you what, Maryland is, as a state as a whole, has the most women smokers that I have ever seen. I mean, sometimes you come in Prime, I go in other lounges as well, because I support all the lounges, especially the Black-owned lounges. No disrespect to anybody else lounge, but we don't really have the numbers. And I want to see those lounges and see the diversity stay there. So I go out. I could get the cigars myself, but I go out and I support the other lounges as well. And when you go in there, you see a lot of women. And I'm gonna tell you what, these women are not coming to the lounge with their man, which, people assume that, oh, you in here with I see you coughed on that.
Yeah.
You assume that, oh, she in here with her man. No, her man in here with her.
Right.
A lot of the times, because a lot of the times their man is smoking a Tatiana. And they, I want to throw them out there. But they doing the groovy blue. Okay.
Yeah,
and the woman over here smoking an underground Maduro, and so it's there is no gender specification for this. The women are really taking over, and even in women-owned lounges, you're seeing so many more women-owned lounges pop up. And the truth is, a woman's palate is a very delicate, is a much more delicate palate than a man. Yeah. So our smoke is different. Like we spoke on El Septimo, but El Septimo, they did a line called the Alexandria collection, and that line blended 2 cigars that were blended to a woman's palate. Men can smoke it, but it really does hit on a woman's palate. The Maryland and the Cocoa, and they're phenomenal cigars, and the men actually buy them more than the women do. But those little nuances that a woman's palate can pick up, it really plays to that. And it's not infused. It's not infused, and it's not sweet.
Right. All right. Was that somebody blowing their nose?
No, that was them hit the radio by mistake.
Oh, it's the same mistake. God damn.
Yeah, I know who was. If it was somebody blowing their nose, I know who it would be.
Man. So before we get up out of here, and first and foremost, man, my guest tonight is Zee Kiley from Zephoria Cigars, formerly Prime Draw. Brand new spot that's opening up very soon in Baltimore. Pikesville. Sorry, Pikesville. Oh, you fancy. You know, you fancy.
Moving on up, like moving on up.
You in Pikesville. Pikesville. Yeah, that's me. Talk about the shop and what people can expect once you open up, and when can we expect you to be open?
Well, I can't really give you a date, but I'll just say soon, prayerfully. You know, the toil of build out is what it is. But you can really expect something different. I've always been that person, and even at Prime, I like to do different things. Flight night, Taco Tuesdays, karaoke. We're not going to lose the essence of what Prime was, but just being honest, I'm not doing any of the trap. I can't, I don't want the trap music. I don't, I want it to be a nice lounge that you can come in. This lounge, because it does have a dress code, and when you come in, it's a minimum of smart casual, and smart casual means no athletic wear, a minimum of a polo. And so you can wear designer tennis shoes, because people pay money for Giuseppe's. It's not really considered a tennis shoe. It's considered a fashion shoe. So that's allowable, but no athletic wear. Very much grown, grown and sexy. And I want you to be able to come in and really get back to the core of what the cigar lounge, good conversation, good music. And we talk about jazz, blues, because, there's a group called The Den. I'm going to throw them out there. And they know good music, right? They span across a lot of different genres of music. And that kind of sets the tone. It brings a joy into the space. So being able to kind of do live band and having the space to do that and do live jazz and bring in some of our young people from the School of the Arts, that you see downtown playing outside, that are phenomenal artists, and be able to showcase them and kind of bridge that gap and show people the culture of Baltimore as well, because we're not just what you see on TV. Our culture runs really, really deep. So to learn those things and to really learn who the people are in Baltimore, that's really what I want to bring. Good conversation is everything in the lounge.
That's what's up. I'm super proud of you. I think you should have a stretch night, where Stretch comes in, that'd be me, and host a night or whatever like that.
We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah, I think we should do that. We're gonna make that happen. But again, I want to thank you for taking time out to be on the show. I know I've been thoroughly educated, and for those out there who are listening and watching have been educated as well. Shout out to my girl Sharifa. She says, "What's up, Z?"
Hey.
Yeah, I'm at an undisclosed location. They right upstairs, so they watching from upstairs. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
You know where he at? Where he always is now.
Yeah, no doubt. So this is the part of the show where I allow you to just once again make sure that you hit all the information that you want people to follow you on, and so they can be in tune with the everything about you and everything about Zephoria and all that good stuff like that. So please, the floor is yours.
So Zephoria, sub is lifestyle cigars, because we're going to touch on all of that. We're going to touch on the culture, how you live your life, how cigars is a part of that. I really want you to come in and show your style, because the culture breeds great style. I mean, there are some phenomenal people who come with their suits, fedoras, all of that is part of the culture, your watches, your rings, everything. So I really want to showcase the style as well. And of course, the cigars. So 1320 Ricerstown Road. I'm only right up the street from where I was before. In Pikesville, Maryland. Is right off the highway. It's easy access. Hopefully we'll be opening up soon. Dress code minimum of smart casual. Everybody will see the information go out. And just know Prime is not gone. Eventually, I would like to open up a second place that is Prime, the Roundaway Lounge, so you can have the best of both worlds. But also, Zephoria has memberships. If you go on ZephoriaLife.com, that's Z as in Zulu, EPHORIA, life.com, you'll see all the information for memberships, their annual memberships, and they allow 24-hour access, which is something that's going to be dope.
Yeah, that's going to be dope.
I'm looking forward to it. On IG, at Zephoria Lifestyle Cigars. Follow me. My personal is at the Queen of Boutique Cigars, and the same on Facebook. So
no doubt. Man, this was a wonderful, wonderful night, wonderful show. I want to thank you again for your time and your consideration. And I'm super excited. I'm so proud of you. You've been doing big things. And let me not forget to tell everybody that this is a veteran-owned business. You know what I'm saying? So my girl Zee, she served. And, so you got to come out and support her and all her endeavors and things of that nature, man. So congratulations once again to you, my girl. You make me proud.
I gotta get the Kappas out here.
Oh, you already know. You show up.
Y'all gonna make my Sigmas mad.
Hey, we're gonna show up and we're gonna turn out. That's gonna be a good
definitely. I definitely appreciate you. From the days of Woodlawn all the way to now. We've come a long way.
We most certainly have, and congratulations to you on all of your endeavors. You're one of a million that's just definitely shining, and I'm super excited to see where you continue to elevate and go from here. So kudos to you, and once again, congratulations on the new spot. Can't wait to get up in there and check it out. And again, for those of you out there, make sure that you follow her. I'm about to put it right back up on here so you can see. Follow her on Instagram right now at Zephoria.life.style.cigars, and be sure to support her and everything that she does, because I'm telling you, once you go up in there, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna learn something, and she has an array of dope cigars, things that you probably never even seen or heard of that she will put on to. And my last question right now is what stick are you smoking? Not currently, right? Not as talking right now, but what's your
You said what's my what?
Did you catch that?
No, you were breaking up a little bit. You said what's my what? My go-to right now?
Yeah, what's your go-to right now?
To be honest with you, it's a go-to we all jumping on right now, and that's Warped Cigars Moon Garden.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. If you are a full body, full strength, and know there's a difference between body and strength in the cigar. Mm-hmm. If you are a full body, which means full flavor, and you love full strength, this is a full plus stick. It is so smooth. It's medio tiempo in it. It is a phenomenal cigar. Released at PCA this year. You have to put your hand on it. And you thank me later. You can thank me later, because it is a phenomenal smoke.
Now, for those who don't know what she's just speaking of, a lot of times, this is a stick. That's a cigar that you have to have something to eat.
You better.
You better eat before you smoke that stick. You have to eat, because if not, it's gonna be some trouble.
Yeah, don't just get McDonald's French fries. You have to
Yeah,
eat
you gotta
something
eat.
hearty and full, because that cigar will put you down. I've seen it put the best of them down.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you know
the
what the good thing
flavor
about it,
profile is exquisite.
you know, the good thing about it too is like once your doors open, you are in a very prime location because there's a lot of great restaurants around the
Yeah.
way. So that's going to be real key because folks can go have a nice dinner, and then come and relax after their dinner right over there at Zephoria.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal because we also have the only Black-owned cinema right here,
Huh?
2 blocks from me.
Right.
So yeah, there are a lot of options, and of course, I'm not in Charles County, so people need to know I don't have a bar. It is BYOB. I don't do sell food. I do have times where I like to showcase a lot of chefs. We have our house chef, New Cheese International Cuisine,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. And he does the greater majority of the food in Prime. If you ever had it, then you know what time it is. But there are a lot of great restaurants and great places to eat.
That's what's up. Well, once again, Z, thank you so much, baby girl. I appreciate you so much. Much love to you, much success to you, and put two of those sticks on the side for me. I'll come and scoop them up from you.
I
Okay.
got you. I'm gonna put you a whole bag of stuff together.
Oh, that's my girl.
I got
Ow.
you.
That's what's up. Thank you so much, baby.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody. I appreciate the support people give. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the people. And my regulars are loved, and I love them, and I thank them for the support.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt about that, man. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This is Dope Chats with Stretch. Yours truly, Stretch, your 6'6" phenomenon. And that's my girl, Zee Kiley, the owner, the entrepreneur, the operator of Zephoria. I was about to say Euphoria. That's a good show on HBO, of Zephoria. Yes, indeed. So make sure that you go and follow her right now on all social media platforms. And of course, make sure that you show up when them doors do open, because you're going to be ready to experience something that you have never experienced before. And that's what's up. And thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back again next week with another dope episode of Dope Chats with Stretch right here on all streaming platform networks. Peace.